Fellas, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to play Peni Parker in this Marvel Rivals guide. I'll be covering some tips, some tricks, some combos, positioning as well, just so that you can get the most out of her. Peni Parker is extraordinarily defensive and best played on defensive game modes. That doesn't mean she can't be played offensively, and I've been seeing some great plays out of her in the higher ranks. So whether you need a Peni or need a seasonal refresher, this video will be for you. So just hopping into her abilities, she does have quite a bit, so it will take a moment to cover them all. Looking at her basic attack, this does 15 damage. This does 15 damage as a projectile and a spell field. Very important. It has a 1.5 meter radius, so unless the enemies are very close together, you won't see much of it. But bonus damage is bonus damage. From that, we have our secondary attack. This does 5 damage. Cooldown 3 seconds. The cool thing about it is that this can snare enemies. You can also use it to help yourself get around easier. And this will allow you to stop ultimates like Scarlet Witches or even Doctor Strange. Something cool about it is that the enemies are snared for just a little less than a second, but Peni Parker receives 25 healing per second, meaning you get 25 health every time someone's snared. And if you're at full health while this happens, you get bonus overshield. And then if you stand in the web as well, you get healing over time as well as the movement bonus. So very, very useful. You want to get as many of those down as you can. From that, not something too great, but she can web crawl. You hold the space bar or your jump button, and this allows you to climb walls vertically. And with that, you have Cyber Bond. You shoot a web strand that links to a targeted area, or Cyber Web. If it goes too far, it will trigger a pullback and you'll be pulled back. The range is a 10 meter pullback, and the maximum distance you can go is 19 meters. This will allow you to traverse very, very fast. Or if you play it right, this can pull you out of a fight. After that, you have the Arachno Mine. This deploys mines that can be concealed with a web, allowing for a surprise attack, and they cannot be destroyed. The mines do 100 damage, so not too much, but if you have a few of them down, this will do a ton of damage and be able to kill a lot of characters. They can be destroyed. Then of course, the main thing is the Bionic Spider Nest. What this does is creates a nest that periodically spawns spider drones and creates spider webs, cyber webs. And then while you're in those webs, you get healing over time, movement bonus, and if you have full health, that's bonus overshield. It's 40 damage per drone, and it has 350 health. These things are a pain in the butt. They're one of the main reasons why I hate playing against a Peni. And then lastly, she does have a team up with Venom, in which case she gets armor expulsion, and this does 50 damage on cast, plus 50 damage per second, lasting 4 seconds. You also get a 50% damage reduction while that is active. So that's the gist of her abilities. Let's get on with actually how to play her. Now, I mentioned earlier that Peni performs extraordinarily well defensively because of her spider nest as well as her mines. At the start of convoy games, talking on the defensive here, you can throw this in front of doors or around corners, and this will be able to get in a surprise kill. And now her spider webs can be lined up very, very strategically, allowing you to basically have as much overshield as you can always have and that movement bonus. The webs can also be lined up to hit your enemies, allowing you to set up some really interesting strategies. The best way to set up her spider nest will be so that it clips through walls. There's a lot of different areas in different maps where you can hide your spider nest centrally, making it so that the enemies have to go through her spider webs, getting out a ton of those spider drones, allowing you to have that constant healing and that constant damage being out, keeping your spider nest in a safe spot, making sure that it's always up. And then thanks to her Cyber Bond ability, this allows you to get into more advantageous areas or to get away if needed. As for a general combo, there's not going to be too much that you can do with Peni Parker. The combo of Peni and Venom is very awkward, as one is really, really good offensively and one is really, really good defensively. So you don't see them too common on the same team, but the armor expulsion will be great for dealing tons of damage on those who try to jump you. Otherwise, it's making sure that you have as many of the mines and your Bionic Spider Nest up as much as possible, and then just doing your basic attack to get in a ton of damage. If you do get a team wipe, however, and your Bionic Spider Nest was damaged, You can pick it up so that the cooldown is a little bit shorter and then replace it down. And then where you place it down will vary on the map, where you are on the map, team composition, many different things. So there's not going to be a universal best spot that I could recommend. Typically behind corners in a safe location that enemies typically don't go will be the best way to do it. Otherwise, if you're playing domination, for example, and your whole team is in the middle of the objective, placing it close to the middle so that the rest of your team members are around it will be one of the better spots to have it. If the enemy team is trying to push up either to you or past you, you can also shoot out the mines, focusing on the enemy's backline so that this damages the supports. It's not something that I see all too often, but it is a very effective way on getting rid of their healers, or at the very least making them vulnerable to other attacks. The best way to play Penny that I can honestly suggest is to stay mobile. You don't want to be camped in one spot. Place down as many of the webs as you can so that you have the healing and movement bonus as much as you can over the field, and be a constant menace. It's essential to be quick on your feet, as Penny shines more so as an off tank defensively. They can be very aggressive while also providing healing for herself, but they're not going to be the best main tank, as they're good at preventing space from being taken rather than taking space herself. That is, of course, unless you take into account her spider sweeper. With this, when you run past enemies, it will launch them up into the air and deploy the mines as well. You get 450 bonus health and a 70% movement bonus. And then you have two options as well for your basic attack and secondary attack for the spider sweep or the arachno mine. The spider sweep does 60 damage per hit, allowing you to cause a lot of mayhem and get down a ton of the mines as well at the same time. If you do pay a lot of attention to Penny and her technical abilities, you can get in a ton of damage and a ton of block damage as well. Then you can use her ultimate to create space, allowing you and your team to take care of the battlefield. But when you're on aggressive game modes like Convoy, for example, and your team needs to push, you won't get a lot of usage out of her bionic spider nest. Not that you won't get any, just that there are better options and better vanguards to use in that regard. Someone like Venom, for example, who is more aggressive. And presently at the moment, not a lot of people know how to counter her or really deal with her. So if you want to get the most out of Peni Parker, now is going to be the time to learn her. And that's a wrap on this Peni Parker Marvel Rivals guide. Tell me, did I miss anything? If you have any tips of your own you think other people should know, leave it in the comments below. And hey, hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already. Stay tuned for the next one.